Hydrogen is overhyped. There are some legitimate uses for hydrogen, but most of the stocks that you see touted online will never make a profit. Hydrogen is an energy carrier and not an actual source of energy. You use electricity, usually from fossil fuel sources, to split water into hydrogen and oxygen molecules, and then compress or liquefy that. And compress or liquefy the hydrogen. Use that to transport the electricity for later conversion back to electricity and use for fuel, heat, or electrical generation. It's just making power with extra steps, and it can take 2 to 3 times as much energy to use hydrogen than just direct electrification. It's super inefficient. It does have some actual legitimate uses, like in steelmaking, fertilizer production, and chemical manufacturing, but it's unlikely that hydrogen will ever be used on a wide scale for powering cars or homes. Generally, it's seen as a fuel of last resort in many cases. A decade ago, some people did expect hydrogen cars to compete with battery-operated EVs, but that's just not been the case. EV infrastructure has exploded in a way that hydrogen just hasn't. EVs are also way more efficient and have longer ranges. Battery designers were able to figure out that technology much faster than the hydrogen engineers. Hydrogen is also extremely difficult to deal with. It's both highly flammable and the molecules are teeny tiny, so the pipes are really prone to leakage, more so than other gases or liquids. It makes pipes really brittle and requires really cold temperatures and/or high pressure. Which means to scale it, you'd have to put a lot of really delicate equipment and infrastructure around the country. We met with a gas station owner on Route 66 in the middle of nowhere. You explained what was needed to install a hydrogen fuel pump versus what was needed to install an electric vehicle recharger and told them they could pick one. Which one do you think they would pick? Take trillions of dollars in additional infrastructure to implement this across the country, which is money that, number one, we don't have. And number two, if we did have it, we could use it to bolster our electrical grid, which would benefit not only the EV drivers, but the whole country. Many of the hydrogen stocks that you see heavily promoted online are constantly diluting shares. They're either unprofitable or just barely eking by. And they keep pushing back timelines and are plagued by delays. Many of these stocks and a lot of these green startups peaked around 2020 to 2021 when Biden was talking about the Green New Deal, and nobody really investigated super closely. Hydrogen stocks have behaved more like speculative tech startups rather than stable infrastructure investments, even though they currently rely heavily on subsidies and they're not profitable without them. Hydrogen in the future could be extremely important, but it's worth noting that there's a risk in investing in an industry too soon. I mentioned that I've tried to avoid investing in technologies that are likely to be replaced before they can be implemented at scale, and this is just a prime example of that. You can lose a lot of money buying into hype and it crash and not recover for 20 years or whatever. I just don't think that hydrogen is there yet. But I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I any kind of engineer. I'm just some random woman on the internet. Let me know what you think about hydrogen in the comments and follow for more.